If you have a resolution.
Say the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Say the pledge of allegiance.
Let the roll call show that all are present. We do have a quorum. Can I have approval of the agenda.
I move we approve the agenda with the following amendments. To a resolution, under the resolutions, CAD grant for the sidewalk we discussed. And around under permits to move permitting directly after communications from this. It says it's normal place on the second page.
The TAD grant, where will that? be
Well, CAD grant stays where it's at.
Well,
Twelve
okay,
A.
Well,
okay,
and permit for Pat Collins will go immediately after communications from the citizens
Before the executive.
before the executive session.
okay, have a motion to amend the agenda.
Second.
I have a motion to amend the agenda. Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor to approve the agenda as amended, say aye. Aye. Opposed the same. Motion passed all in the affirmative. Communication from citizens. Any communication from citizens? No. Can I have a motion to go into executive session? Pardon?
Building permit.
Building.
We'd moved it.
I moved it. Yes,
Okay, I thought we moved it to communications from citizens. Okay. Move the building permit.
Yes.
Okay. And
It's
tell someone about the building permit.
gonna be a permit for Pat Collins for an alteration. Specifically to pave his driveway from currently dirt and place a permanent side or concrete driveway pad. From the pavement, the sidewalk that's existing from the town's right of way up to his existing cement parking pad at his residence on 121 West Sixth.
Have a motion to approve the building permit. Been moved by Councilman Stedler, second by Councilwoman Hartke. Any further discussion? None being all in favor, say aye. Aye, pose same. Motion passed all affirmative.
Thank you. It was an excellent argument, Pat. Enjoy your night
No
off.
debate.
Thank you, you too.
Not gonna have a motion to go into executive session.
I'll second.
Been moved, Councilman Stedler, second by Councilman Hartke to go into executive session for personnel reasons. Any further discussion? None being. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, pose the same. Regular session is closed at 7:09.
Okay.
A motion to move back in the regular session.
So moved.
Then moved by Councilman Steller, second by Councilman Harkin, move back in the regular session. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Pose the same. Motion passes on affirmative, 724.
Yep.
In executive session, we reviewed the accusations that was made against our Director of Public Works and his crew. We have found that they were unfounded and be no truth in the matter. Maybe some misunderstanding, but there was no truth in the accusations. We will try to clarify in the future, line locate rules and regulations that are put out that are be followed by all involved. Anybody else have any other comments about that? None being, let's move on to the consent agenda.
I move we approve the minutes and the bills. A and B for September 12th and the bills for September 13th through September 26th.
Had a motion, can I have a second?
Second.
Okay, moved by Councilman Zant, second by Councilman Steller, that we approve A and B, the consent agenda, the approval of the minutes, September 12th, 2023. Approval of the bill September 13th, 2023 to September 26th, 2023. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye. Aye, pose the same. Motion passed on affirmative. Move down to C, Barnum Inc. Payment Application 78,790.52, application number 4. We have a motion to approve. And have a motion to approve.
I move we approve.
Been moved by Councilman Stedler. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Zent. Discussion.
Yes. And that Barnum, that's the.
Sewer.
Yeah,
Sewer.
and did they get, I guess I missed it, if they got back to work or what?
I believe they're getting geared up. This was from Jadeco. The majority of this application is for electrical services, getting things prepared for, I believe, the lift station. Was the majority of this pay application.
What percentage are they been paid for so far? Guys seen a percentage of that listed somewhere?
Around 40-some%.
Yeah.
This payment would put them at 58%.
Okay. No.
Of work complete.
Have there been any major change orders so far in this project?
None yet.
I just hadn't realized they were still working away or back at it.
And yeah, this was like I said, electrical work getting for the lift stations that were waiting
Getting
on. the
everything in
components
place.
for, correct.
And I didn't realize that was going on, that's why I was asking.
And this has been approved by our engineer.
Right,
Right.
I figured it had,
Yeah,
I thought it was odd that I didn't know they were back to work.
Yeah, the stop sign out on Herbst Road and 7th is still down. Hopefully someday.
Yeah, and, pave the road of Maple, things like that,
Okay.
but no change orders to date for the project. And last I heard, I believe that they were looking to start to get back here at the end of the month, so
Okay.
what all that entails, I'm not sure, but.
Sounds good.
Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion passed in the affirmative. Do we have any appearances by citizens? Anything, anybody online?
One online, I don't know if there's any. See if there's any questions.
If none being, move on to your resolution. Want to talk about the resolution? Pete?
This is resolution 23015. It is a updated resolution of a previously passed resolution for a TAP grant through the YDOT for the sidewalk project on the east end of town. And this is a revision of the cost sharing arrangement. Whereas the governing body for the town of Shoshoni desires to participate in transportation alternatives program to assist in funding this project. Whereas the governing body for town of Shoshoni recognizes the need for the project. And whereas TAP requires that federal funding criteria be met and the town of Shoshoni agrees to ensure satisfaction of all requirements. Whereas town of Shoshoni acknowledges that if funded, the TAP project shall be completed prior to December 31st, 2026. Whereas the governing body for the town of Shoshoni agrees to set aside a minimum of $73,179.45 as a line item in its budget for the required 9 51/100%, 9.51 local cash match of the project. Whereas the governing body for the town of Shoshoni acknowledges TAP is funded on a reimbursement basis and involves all invoices must be 100% paid by town of Shoshoni prior to reimbursement through TAP. 90.49% federal reimbursement. Town of Shoshoni acknowledges that if they are to comply with this requirement, may result in cancellation of the award and repayment by town of Shoshoni of all funds reimbursed. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the governing body for the town of Shoshoni that a funding application requesting $696,320.55 in federal TAP funding be submitted to the Wyoming Department of Transportation, TAP, for consideration to assist in funding for the town of Shoshoni project. Be it further resolved that Christopher Kojai is hereby designated as the project administrator of town of Shoshoni to act on behalf of the governing body on all matters relating to this funding application. The prior application was for $700,000 in total funding. And the town was going to, town match was 69,000 approximately. So it's the original estimate from the engineer was used to generate the original resolution. But the actual application came after the resolution, and that budget number from the engineer was off a little bit. And so this is just mirroring up what was actually submitted to funding for the proper percentages of match.
Can I have a motion to approve the resolution?
I move we approve the resolution 23-015.
Can I have a second? Second moved by Councilman Zen, second by Councilman Harkey, that we approve resolution for the
23-015.
23-015 as read. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Pose the same. Pass on the affirmative. Department head report, Public Works.
Well, good evening, Mayor, council members. On our lead and copper, our sample results have came in. And we sent out for the lead consumer notice for the lead tap water results to the people at the sampling sites. They got their notices. And after I got those in, I sent the certification form to EPA that everything was delivered to the consumers that have some of the lead in their water. It's not very high. Everything's below the threshold, the lead and copper samples. So we're still in compliance there with the EPA. Nothing too much to that. And on this, when Jim Gordon videoed that well number 6, the camera got hung up at 448 feet. And the water was too dark to see what it was hung up on. But they did see gas bubbles. But they don't know exactly what screen those are coming from. And so he doesn't know what they're going to do next. They're working on the next process of that. That's what I heard from Jim Gores. Yeah, Bart and Steve, they continue to cut the weeds around town. They're doing some for the customers. Some people that wanted theirs cut, that couldn't get to them. They're doing some of them. Those are what the town will charge those. They're keeping the hours on how long they're at each site.
How about blading the roads?
Blading,
Yeah, some of them. are so bad.
whereabouts do you need them bladed?
Well, I have Richard Beck that's complaining about that big hole by his house. He just actually wants that filled in with some gravel or something. But
Whereabouts is this one?
Well,
it's right across with the land that we got for sale.
the west side of Idaho and 6th. That's pretty rough when you turn in there, just because of the divot, I guess it's.
But where it drains?
Yeah, it's right there on the curb line where it intersects West 6, it hits Idaho Street. That one's always been pretty bad, and also on the east side.
Let's say C Street,
Yeah, it's
B Street?
C.
as you're going to the east.
Okay.
I guess 4th Street kind of goes down that
Fourth
way.
Street.
Yeah, East 4th, and it's just where the road, it gets really channeled in there just from the moisture and the getting kind of
Yeah, past where,
Wyoming Street and
Yeah.
Main Street in between there.
that little trailer park, yeah.
You know, one thing that would really help Public Works if we could find a water truck.
Yeah. And we can blade them, but then if it's too dry, they don't really help, because people just, depends on how they drive. If they drive fast, it'll just tear it back up again. That's what we need really is a water truck.
That's something we
So-
might put on our need list.
We kind of like to wait till it rains and then
Right?
then plow and grade it, so it'll work a little bit better. But, yeah, they're just kind of real dry too. But I can have Bart look into it. Have him run the grader over there. And we had some problems over here at our wastewater treatment plant. We had a plug line going to the lagoon number 1. But we used the jetter on it. And we finally got through it today. It's what we think it is the sludge that's in the ponds now. So I don't know if that's ever been dredged or anything. And I really don't know how deep the sludge is.
My knowledge, never been dredged.
And what we think is too much of it, and it's backing up into that pipe. And then whatever the people throw down in the toilets and that, the flushable wipes, which are not flushable really, they just create problems with that, and plastic, they eventually build up in there and it cut the flow off. But when me and Bart did that first time, we pulled a bunch of plastic on the tip of the jetter. There was like those, they're kind of like those little plastic bags that you put fruit in, they got holes in it. Kind of like that, we pulled some of those up. And there's a pretty good sized chunk there. The Mike got through the rest of it today. So we got that running again. And then we're having problems with our dosing system. I had electrician come in today. The contacts that were in there, they were burnt, they were froze shut. So the pumps weren't coming on. I didn't get him to check the pumps yet. He's going to check out on those contacts. We got one zone running anyway. Keep it moving, the water. So I don't, once we get those contacts back in, hopefully those pumps will work. If not, we're gonna have to check them pumps up. Get them in the system. But we need to clean those vaults up. I mean, I wouldn't send him down in there. They're pretty nasty. So Bart's gonna work on trying to see if he can get that hotsy in there. We're gonna kind of build as a little ramp, and but we got a culvert that we're gonna install over there so we can drive up in on top there. Get to that vault so we can clean them out. Yeah. That's about all I got there. Any questions?
The time frame, the electricians on checking them pumps and all, and getting the contacts in.
He took one contact with him today to see where he can get the parts.
Okay.
He took pictures of what we have and who installed those and who installed the pumps. That information's right inside the panels. So he took all of that. He took pictures of all of that today. And he took one of the contacts with him. He's gonna see if he can find them parts, see where they're at. Cause I told him that maybe eight, I think it's eight something was it. They're the ones that designed, I mean, that's their design that we go by. They're the ones that we follow their O&M manual. So, but he'll Terry Betts will be looking into it tomorrow.
They're, talking about the lagoon and stuff and the dowsing system. Last summer we talked with, early summer, talked with the DEQ. We were discussing about doing a PER on that. They didn't think it was appropriate at the time. But I kind of felt it was worth sort of playing that by, see what we find, but that's something we're probably will need to look at in the near future.
Yeah.
We've had nothing but issues with that dowsing system. And Russ, I just think that's something that we need to probably should be addressing. I tend to talk to you again, and I don't know. Try to play nice with the DQ.
What a guy can do.
But that may be something we should, be thinking of in the near future. And I also had a discussion a little bit with Jim Gore and talked about what they had discovered it. They could be just all silted in where the screen is. Ones like that they found out and still producing trade, but they're how to mitigate the issue with gas, because they basically the idea is go down there and if they have a certain screen section that is producing the gas to seal that off.
Right.
And they can't do that. They weren't prepared. It could be jetted possibly.
Right.
Could be jetted. And before you could do that again, that would be pretty pricey. My question to them, when do we quit spending money and when the decision made we may need a new well?
Jim Gores is called today and he wanted to meet with council, and I asked him not to come tonight because nobody's prepared for anything, but he's gonna come on October 10th, so we can get some clarification and go in depth on the 10th. He plans on giving a full report of the status of where things are in the 10th meeting.
Anything else, Mike? Or any
Nah,
comments from Mike?
all I have.
I just got a question. I'll get with you offline, but do you have a time where I could get Bart? We can go through the senior housing and start making a list of upgrades so we can start getting on that.
With Bart,
Yeah,
um,
I know you're.
maybe Friday, I think they're gonna be reading meters tomorrow.
Mhm.
Yeah, so maybe Friday. I'll talk to Bart, see what's gonna be up. Friday, could be Friday, or maybe Thursday.
Yeah, we can just go through and just start making that.
Yeah.
Listing of things that need to be replaced so we can start hopefully getting things ordered or whatever we gotta do to
Okay,
replace some of the old
yeah,
stuff in there.
maybe Thursday.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Move on down the line, Mike, do you have anything you would like to bring up from the round table? Councilman Zamp, anything?
Did we get cement on the north side for the door? put in?
Yes.
Okay. On the corner of, I think it's Fourth and Main, there's a abandoned trailer, corner lot on the northeast side.
That's the one that it wasn't abandoned, that's the one that was put in here.
Yeah, well, it is abandoned now.
Well, it's abandoned now, it never, and so we actually served them with paperwork in July. That they were in violation of the Wyoming Junkyard Act as well as multiple town ordinances. And gave them 30 days to respond and have that as well as the vehicles that are removed. And so the next step is now for through our marshal and taking whatever legal steps we need to either take possession of the property ourselves and auction it off or whatever we have to do to get rid of it.
Okay.
At their expense.
That include the dirt?
The
I mean,
rock-
as far as when you say the property, is it the actual ground or just the,
The vehicles, the derelict building and the vehicles and trying to get
not the
that.
real estate?
But I don't know what,
Essentially, anything that can be declared a nuisance and take it up through the court to side with us and then get that done and then go through the sheriff's sale to sell it off and if they never contact you, then basically it goes to, it's a sheet to the state. But you get the town's fees for all the work out of that, out of the sheriff's.
that's where the stats. is.
How's the grant working for the place to school?
That's the same thing that we're still waiting to hear from. That was that resolution. They haven't decided on funding yet.
What would the resolution we talked about was on sidewalk, but not.
Yeah, everyone was, yeah, there's no issues with the light. It was just, that one just had, it was just that numbers had to be modified on the resolution for the sidewalk specifically.
Well, we haven't watered that yet.
We haven't, they haven't considered either one of them. They're getting ready to meet, I believe, this month, so we should hear. Hopefully here next month or so.
That's all I have.
Councilman Stetler.
The only thing that that I thought we should bring up us. That with this whole rails to trails business, where we're at basically. Is there's deeded land that the trail goes through. And there's a lot of people that are, not a few people that are ignoring private property signs and tolerance on that from the landowners are down to 0. So it's just a request if people would just stay on the trail, just get out of town and then you're on I think it's reservation first, then Bureau of Reclamation, State Park, all that, just asking people to just kind of stay on the rail bed and get through the deeded land and then do what you got to do. That's about it.
There have been cases of damage done to private property.
Yep, and trespassing. So that 2-track that goes through the BLM onto the rail bed crosses private deeded ground with no easements on it. It is posted and it is not legal to drive on. It's not mine, but before anybody starts giving me dirty looks, but it is private posted deeded ground with no easements. So maybe stay off of it, yeah.
You're saying that's to access the rail trails?
It ain't an access to the rail trails. I have a email from our chair commissioner, between him and some other people, that the chair of the rec board, the chair of the commissioners, and everybody said that ain't illegal access. I can show you a
So
copy.
that, so for clarity, so that's, in essence, we would say it starts over at the rec center.
Yeah,
That's the road.
the rail bed. And that is. that
So
head on-
someplace between the rail bed and the bridge is where it becomes,
Oh, no, that's all been, we've got through that.
oh,
And that's all, just stay on the rail bed. That's all the guys who own deeded ground are asking. I'm talking about the 2-track north, or not north, south. You go out on Muskrat, past the rifle range, you hang a right, you're on that 2-track on
Oh.
BLM.
oh.
That's what I was referencing.
Just-
No, everything else has been talked about, negotiated, everything's been handled.
Yeah,
That's where we're at on that. Things have been worked out, but. It still doesn't give anybody the right to go off-roading or tear things up or to do any of that. Just ease on through the deeded ground, please. And then that 2-track that's south of town that everybody uses to get their pickups on there. That's private deeded ground that's posted private property with no easements. That's uncontested. Is how it is. That's straight up trespassing, and the tolerance on that I was told is 0. Once again, that's not my ground. I have nothing to do with it. I was just relaying them.
They need to respect the landowners.
Yep.
And stay on the trail.
And so in discussions, it was just mentioning what is okay to do and what is not okay to do. It is okay to get on the rail bed, get out into the public land and have a great time. It's not legal to be off that on private deeded ground, tearing things up and going in on that 2-track's off limits.
a lot of the property off from that, I mean, in general, the rail bed is. Really should be about the only trail.
Right.
That's it.
I mean.
Well, I mean, so if you look at the maps, you gotta know where you're at. You go off the rail bed, onto reservation, onto state park. There's BLM, Bureau of Reclamation, reservation, deeded ground. You gotta know where you're at.
I mean, but when you veer off, because we have property that you can. There's no
Yeah,
legal
yes,
access.
of course, yes, I apologize. I forgot, yeah.
No, so we're further, it's further down in the middle of nowhere. There's no markers, no nothing, but when people drive down, when they start taking these little offshoots where they want to go, where there's not fences, most of that.
They're still
is
trespassing on
correct.
private deeded ground.
Yeah, where people go up the river beds when it's dry, run up the river beds and.
But a lot of that, so. A lot of that's on state park, a lot of it's on reservations, that's. Take it
Their
up with them,
deal.
or BLM, I mean, if you're off-roading on BLM, that's between you and the BLM office. That's-
Yeah.
You gotta know where you're at out there, I've hunted out there for a long time. I always got my GPS, you gotta know where you're at.
Hey, if you put up a no trespass sign, that's just target.
Even though ones right at the cuts took a few rounds. But that it's just a plea to people, just stay on the rail bed, get out of town, get on the public land, and then it's not my business what anybody does, but that 2-track south of town, it's BLM for a long ways. Look at the map, and then it's on deeded private ground, posted private property. That was all I had to talk about. I'm glad everything's kind of come to a resolution on that.
Sure appreciate that information, public. But pay attention.
Yeah. If in doubt, just stay on the rail bed and have a
Yep.
great time.
Yep, have a good time, yes. Councilwoman Harkey.
So when are we supposed to get back with this lady on this plaque for the park? Like Jake was saying, having Kathy, or maybe talk to Kathy, help.
Yeah,
Great idea.
yeah, I think we'll do that. I think Kathy's the appropriate person to put together some verbiage.
The way that
Joe
lady
Hartman.
talked, it needed to be done pretty soon.
Yeah.
She said that, I thought she said she's waiting on us.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I
we-
had a conversation with her last week.
Oh my God.
Another thing I had, I'm sorry if it's appropriate if I may.
Please do, go ahead.
I got the email about the money training thing. through the WAM, through the state. Are they ever gonna do that where you don't have to take a day off of work?
Allegedly, they're working on getting it, virtual training.
They did, well, there was that email where you could sign up and do it on Zoom if you wanted to take, I think it's a Tuesday off of work to sit on your computer, but I can't.
Thought I heard that they were trying to
October
get
24th.
it where it's at your leisure. Type,
They are working on that.
yeah, I don't know the status of that. That's last update that I've heard because of those exact problems of getting compliance with it.
Okay, I was just wondering if there was any talk about making it a little more
I'll reach out and ask
available.
Justin, see if they got anything scheduled for a weekend,
Yeah, maybe not in October too.
not during hunting season. Yeah, we got till next July to get it done.
Okay, well, January, that conference is in January, right? So
Yeah.
I can catch it then, but it's,
You'll still have to take a day off work to do it.
well, yeah, but it's not taking a day off for that, which I already did this year, and then take another day off to do it again. I just was curious if they were working on making it a little more friendly to those of us who have to work.
I will ask.
That was everything. I'm sorry.
No, good question.
I got two little things real quick if I can. Please do. Just a quick update on a couple things. So the ambulance assessed that is that we plan on having that accredited this month in October for Shoshoni. Sure you've heard some of the rumblings with the Frontier train wreck. But ours should be accredited this month and then we'll work out a plan for expanding the available EMTs to staff it. We've had discussions with the school, obviously for their sporting events that we would provide standby services for them instead of contracting Frontier and whatnot. And I'll hopefully have more, but once we have this accredited, then that's the hard part. After that, it's just getting the staffing, which we still plan on having the police department set up where we're at least trained at the basic level to be able to essentially respond as needed. And then we'll try and get some more volunteers. There's a couple of people in town that when they are available, they've expressed interest in helping out when they can. So I think the biggest part is just getting that over the finish line. And we plan on having that done. So we have our protocols all done. And our EMS director, which is a doctor, and we have 2 EMTs on the rolls. So now we just have to do the final checkoff, and that's what we plan on having done in October. I just wanted to touch on grants. So I guess it's a good thing and a bad thing. One of the troubles I'm running into with the grants is when they look at our financials, they're saying we have too much money and do we really need help? Because we're not spending the money. And we're asking for more money that we, I'm not talking multi-million-dollar grants. I'm talking these micro grants, $30,000, $50,000. And they look at our financials and they say, why do you need our help if you have this much money? However, this year, as you know, we are spending that money, but we just haven't spent it yet. So I guess a product of good fiscal management has put us in the position where we have that, but at the same time, it works against us when we try and get grants. And I believe we'll still be successful because we are utilizing that for the big projects we do have for cash matching. We just haven't spent it yet because we've been able to, spend less money in some ways and then have offsets. So we haven't had to actually use that yet. So just want to let you know that that's a good thing. But it's I think it's a testament to the council and being pragmatic with allocation of our funding, but at the same time, it can be a detriment in some aspects. So, but I think we got through that hump because this year we are utilizing that funding finally for certain, the water especially, and things of that nature. But in the past, we haven't really had to use that. So that's a good thing. So that's the status of the PER is really where that comes from the USDA. I just had the conversation today about that, so. Something to think about. That's a good thing.
Anything else? The public works personnel, I just think they're doing a really good job. They've been attacking the weed situation. We got the new subdivision at 40 acres. Got that down. Looks good. I also like to compliment the citizens of Shoshoni. I think they're doing a great job on getting the weeds knocked down all over town. I mean, it's they've been working hard at that. I really appreciate it. I've had a lot of comments from other citizens that, boy, the town's looking good, the weeds are coming down, people are working together. It's really good to see. Shooting complex update, the shooting complex, Wyoming complex task force is in Riverton. They got at CWC room 125. They have a meeting scheduled from 8:30 to probably 5, they have hour and a half lunch break. From 11 a.m. to noon, there's a public comment period. Anybody from Fremont County, I'd encourage them to show up at that time. If nothing else, to show support. It's important that we have county-wide support for this project also and everything else, so it's still early in the process. We're still looking at multiple sites here in Fremont County. We got a real good team together. All the good things we know about Fremont County, we're gonna be trying to talk about that. Also in the meeting, we hope to be able to get a video out of a world-class facility so people understand this is not just a shooting range, it's a complex that the state's looking at. And there again, this isn't our my vision or our group's vision, but this is the state's vision. We're following their instructions. Fremont County, you know, Shoshoni, we passed to help some economic development funding. We went to the county commissioners. They declined our request, but we need to go through the process and with them and a little better explanation of what where the funding is going to be used for. But we came out of that meeting with the county commissioner supporting the project. So that was good. I believe Hudson and Du Bois is also approved the funding. Riverton and Lander, to my knowledge, Lander may have done it tonight. I think they meet earlier. But I don't know, they're going through their process to do that, or maybe another week or two before it's done. But other than that, things we're moving along real well. New town hall update. One thing I wanted to touch base, you know, we had that discussion about carpet squares and the logo. That they finally came back with with a cost. I'm not so shocked at the cost, I'm not even bringing it to the council. It's way high. Remember, Bob, I think you talked to you, had a boy, went and son, went to work doing something like that.
Yeah, he did it with tile, but
Yeah, sort of same thing. It needs 12. Okay, these are carpet square tiles, 2 foot. Needs about 12 of them probably to do this. Oh, $13,000. That sound reasonable? Just saying. Oh, I did tell you I wasn't going to, but anyway, so.
Pass on that.
Yeah, that was a hard pass, and we're really not interested. If that's the price, and we can live without that, but I can't believe that price, so. I'll look around, I get some information, if I can get a reasonable price, then we'll look at it, but, yeah, that. I absolutely just couldn't believe it. Over $1,000.
Anyway. We do the sidewalk we had to put in where we got where we put the new door on the west side, leaving the council and chamber, that's been installed, we had to replace that great handicap. That's all, it's all done, the fire marshal's inspected it. And all passed his inspection, our architect will be driving, he's gonna be in town tomorrow, I won't be, I'll be at that meeting, but he'll take a look and see if he sees anything. Any structure, anything wrong before we issue final payment. But if the fire marshal has also granted us, we can start moving furniture and stuff in, we just can't occupy the building. We have some signage issues for the bathrooms. We're waiting on, we can't occupy till we get the signs up.
Cause you wouldn't know it's a bathroom if it didn't say.
Yeah, I guess, well, and it's gotta have braille on it,
Be gender neutral.
but we can't occupy till we have those. And then we're still waiting for some door hardware. We did pass our electrical inspection, I got notified of that today. We hadn't got notified, it was inspected a while ago, but that got passed today. And have you heard anything on the signage? I forgot to ask Mike that on Third Street.
It was ordered and he was expecting here within the week. When
Okay,
I talked to him on Monday.
so it should be here,
Vaseline did receive their signage and did post it. They
There is
received
something.
some complimentary signage that they put that complements what we're doing. to
Okay.
Inform people that are parking there, and theirs are up. And posted.
Yeah, it seems like it's been a while getting them signed in for sure.
And I don't know. If it's a different company that he ordered it from, it takes a while. But it was ordered and he's expecting it this week. So,
Yeah.
no,
but
Whatever employees showed up that week.
well, we got a box over there. That might be it. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, I
hope that works.
I hope so.
what the bake sale and the tribute tournament and everything that's going on with the senior center, I guess was pretty successful. Had a real good turnout. I could not make it because I was hunting. So I missed the tribute tournament, which I loved. Like
At my
chasing
oldest
moose.
grandkid's birthday party on Saturday, so.
I went to the park on Saturday, it was really nice down there.
Yeah.
There were a lot of
It
people.
looked like it was gonna be a lot of fun, but.
Yeah, they had a lot of people.
But that was good. That was good work between, I think, the senior center and the town working together to pull it off. I think it went real well.
Bought a t-shirt.
I did too.
Any event, if I have nothing more. Anybody else? A motion to adjourn.
My motion.
Been moved by Councilman Hardkey. Is there further discussion?
I'll second that.
Been moved, second by Councilman Stadler. Now is there further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Both same. Meeting adjourned at 8:08.
Wow.
8:08. Good job.
Oh,